trying. It says we're live.
It lies. There are a lot of creaking and groaning in Blanket Fort today.
I got the whole set. I got the whole set of broken guys today. They're all here. So.
Yes, Jonna exists. She is back.
John is back.
I am home.
Okay, and thank God she's back in Texas, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. I was talking to Kristen when I crossed the Texas border, and he was like, ow, ow, stop cheering so loudly in my ear. So nice to see y'all. It's nice to be home. Nice to see all the old broken guys, too. It's nice to have him here. So
If you would like to keep the heater running in the Blanket Fort,
oh, my God,
and-
it's cold.
Jonna brought an Arctic Blast with her. So if you like to keep the heater running, donate here. Please. If you like coffee, talk to King Harps. If you do, let them know you heard about it from us, because we're running out of hot coffee. And smart-ass t-shirts for all your smart-ass t-shirts needs. tinyurl.com/among the leaves tees. Friend of ours, let them know you heard about it here. We have Sanford and Peter Grant.
Hello,
So between the four of us, we have one good body.
That's up for debate.
Well, yeah.
Okay, who's got the good heart?
Ian.
No, I don't.
Peter?
Well, I had 2 heart attacks so far, so probably not.
Shit, that means you're stuck with me.
Yep,
Uh,
you're a heartless old curmudgeon, so that we're in trouble.
I do not have a good heart. Sorry, guys.
I've been told I didn't have a good heart since I was little.
yeah.
Something about not being a good-hearted person.
Oh, John's got 12 inches of snow in Maryland.
Well, you're in Maryland.
Yeah.
Deal with it. We're in Texas.
Got a friend in Cincinnati who showed a ruler with 11 inches under the
Yeah.
snow.
RK says she's running in and out because the solar batteries are not reporting. Yeah, they're batteries. It's cold. It's not going to work.
Solar.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jonna just informed us that Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, is going to be moving his community notes team from California to Texas.
Which means they'll move to Austin. So,
Still, I mean,
yeah.
as bad as Moscow on the Colorado is, it ain't San Francisco. That's kind of shocking. That's kind of shocking.
Oh, we've got Larry in the chat. Good to see you, Larry. So it means you're in town for a few days.
Which Larry?
Lambert.
Uh-huh. Hi, Larry.
Well, seriously, California, Austin.
Not much.
Well, the other thing in California, Austin is you can drive for 30 minutes and be insanity.
Have you seen the number of vineyards that are popping up from Austin south towards the hill country
Yeah.
and towards San Antonio? I think half the California vintners from the Napa Valley have given up and are coming to
Yeah.
Texas.
Do you blame them?
Well, they don't produce that good a wine in Texas.
Yeah.
Everything's sweet.
Yeah.
No, this is not good.
We've got a local vineyard just south and east of us.
Yep, they're not bad. We've had some of their wines.
Rick makes a good point. California is fornicated. Even liberals don't want to live there with a tolerated crime rate. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. They voted for it.
Yes, Austin does have a better governor.
You can carry your gun in Austin. Yes. No, the Austin, we call it Moscow in Colorado for a reason.
Yeah.
And it is bad. But Governor Abbott occasionally walks or rolls out of the Capitol and beats the city council with a stick.
Yeah.
He actually had called in DPS when the Austin City Council was ordering APD not to do certain things.
He took over the city police, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he brought in DPS and just said, all right, you guys should stand over there. And DPS did what DPS do.
Mhm. Yes, there was that wonderful video of Antifa trying to demonstrate against DPS.
Yeah.
Out came the buttons, and that was the end of that demonstration.
I've seen police bicycles used as barricades.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd seen police bicycles used as batons.
Yeah. It worked.
It did.
Extremely effective, yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
smacked with 20 pounds of bicycle will get your attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Tom, welcome.
Hey, it's retired Tom Rognaby.
Are you retired, Tom?
Well, he retired.
A bit earlier than expected.
Sometime when I've got some booze and him on the private, I'm going to ask why.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm guaranteeing there's a story there.
Of course, as my mother used to say, so he's now retarded.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, he's been a member of this group for how long? Of course he's retired. All of us are.
Tom says Texas DPS, where they got the information for Clegane.
Inspiration. Yeah, no kidding. Ugh. I must see. Wow. There's. I remember it with great fondness. The BLM demonstration they had in Dallas,
Yes.
and Greg Abbott sent DPS.
Yeah.
And they were being all sorts of polite, and they were guiding the marchers, were having this, they're blocking everything, and they guided them up a ramp.
Yeah.
Onto the interstate, and the marchers were thrilled, and it was the interstate going up an overpass. And when they got to the top of the overpass, they looked down, and there was an entire company of DPS at the bottom with sticks.
Yeah.
And they went, whoa, and turned around, and there was an entire company behind them with sticks. And they had the choice. They could jump off the side.
Yes, it is. Wendell with a lion shirt.
Yeah, for ages now. They could get arrested or jump.
Yeah.
None of them had the integrity to jump,
Yeah.
Unfortunately. There's between Texas Rangers and Texas DPS. Okay, Rangers are a division of DPS now. They're one of the few, if not only. Texas has a sunset law. All state offices, every 12 years, you have to go to the legislature and justify your existence. You have to, and we sunset
A bunch of stuff.
agencies all the time. I think DPS are, or not. I think Rangers are immune from the sunset law.
They are.
DPS,
yes. DPS is the State Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
The
Department of Public Safety.
Texas Rangers, one requirement is that you must be in law enforcement for X number of years.
Yeah.
The second requirement is that you don't apply to Texas Rangers.
Well, you can, but
You can, but you never get picked. They select who they want to interview, and those individuals are brought in and interviewed down in Austin. And it's my understanding, any current Texas Ranger can blackball anybody.
that's if that's not official, it's unofficial.
Yeah.
Texas Rangers are one of the few law enforcement agencies I still have a great deal of respect for.
Yeah.
They get rid of bad apples with a quickness.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, Rangers don't tolerate bad apples. They have a history. Ma Ferguson was
Yeah.
Ma Ferguson was the first female governor of Texas, and she turned the Rangers into her personal Stasi.
That was back in the 1800s.
1920s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
1920s. Yeah.
Ma Ferguson during Bonnie and Clyde. Ma Ferguson's.
You're right. There was another incident in the 1800s too.
But Rangers, they get the job done, and
Michael, there's your answer. You have a choice of colors.
the Rangers wear silver belly Stetsons.
Yes.
It's not gray, it's silver belly. It's it's silver belly. And white shirt, tan jeans, boots, and the Cinco the Mexican the
Five
badge,
peso.
5 peso Cinco peso badge, and
Yeah,
Oh,
one
yeah.
riot, one ranger, and that goes back many, many years. The Rangers do a lot of investigation. They also patrol each Ranger company, and there are 5 companies. Each Ranger company, other than Company F, which is Austin, and that's your
Administrative.
forensics and your criminal, high-end criminal and admin.
Is it F or A? I forget
F.
which. F. Okay.
But all the others have a region that they cover. And they're pretty sparse. There's less than 100 Rangers, as far as I know. Something around 90. Yeah.
I think we're in Company C territory, and
Yeah.
there's 3 Rangers.
Yeah.
It's based out of Lubbock. Company C's headquarters in Lubbock, and you've got the captain and a lieutenant, and then you've got one Ranger out here. And that's a tough. He is a tough little dude. He
Yeah.
really is.
I remember when prison chaplain, when I was still active as a prison chaplain, you could talk to the inmates about what they thought about various law enforcement agencies. They were quite dismissive, almost contemptuous of quite a few of the state and fed agencies. But they never badmouthed the U.S. Marshals, and they were downright respectful about the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
As in, if you screw with those guys, you are not coming back from it.
Yeah.
If they say frog, you jump, and then that's about it.
One of the things that really impressed me about the Rangers, well, 2 things, was after Waco, after the ATF FBI
Yeah.
fiasco at Waco, the Rangers went in to investigate, and they were told what they would find.
Yeah.
They were told about what the
Findings were to be.
and they went, "We're the Rangers."
Yeah.
And the FBI got a popsicle shot from the Rangers in their investigation. The Rangers were not.
They did not pull any punches.
No, they didn't, and they blamed the whole thing, blamed the fire and everything on the FBI, and proved it with their report. And then
they are still trying to suppress that report.
And then a little while later, our Republic of Texas idiots got stupid
Yeah.
out in West Texas. And I think it was an FBI sting. Anyway, wound up with another they bunkered up.
Yeah.
And the Rangers showed up and threw the FBI out. Literally. I mean, they frog marched. The FBI said, "We're the FBI." Rangers said, "We're the Rangers. Get out."
Yeah.
And they frog marched the FBI agents off the scene. And they had FBI had to ask they went to a federal judge. The federal judge went, "They're Rangers. What am I?" It was Mary, what's her name in Amarillo?
Yeah.
And she said, "They're Rangers. I can't order them."
Yeah.
So I said, "Please, sir, can we observe?"
Well,
And oh, by the way, the Rangers disbanded the camp with 0 injuries, 0 killed in action.
Yeah, there was no drama. They locked him down, and they had a Ranger sitting in a lawn chair on the road going in, and he, in that white shirt and tan jeans, he'd get up, stop everybody coming in, turn around, go back, and they turn and went back.
Yeah.
And
didn't Judge Mary have a Ranger? Was that guy who attacked her in her courtroom? Ranger sorted it out with a 357.
no, that was how Marshall did.
Yeah,
Marshall did. That was actually Kinman.
J.D. Kinman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I do. One of the things that I remember, there was a interview with what's his nuts that did America's Most Wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Walsh.
Yeah.
And he said he was talking about the highlights back when he shut down. He was talking about the highlights. So one of the highlights was they were in Europe, and he said 3 Rangers showed up, and the entire Interpol was following around.
Yeah.
Rangers.
They exist. They're not just mythful legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Much like the French Foreign Legion, convincing people that Rangers do exist
Yeah.
is really, really. It's like, especially Californians. Yeah, Rangers are a myth.
No.
Guy with the white shirt, go tell him that.
Apply to Bonnie and Clyde for more information
Yeah.
about that. Jurisdiction? What jurisdiction?
Well, and we had a family friend, Juan Garcia, was a Ranger out of El Paso for years. And when he retired, we got him a Model 19 Ranger commemorative and sent it to him. That he did great. But he had a Jeep, a horse, a pickup, and a helicopter. depending, as he said, depending on what day of the week it was what I was going to be riding.
And was he driving them all, or
Yeah.
There you go.
But he laughed because one of his good friends was Joaquin Jackson.
Mhm.
And Joaquin was kind of the prototypical ranger.
Yeah.
And some of the stories that he told, and if you ever get a chance, Joaquin Jackson wrote a book, and his picture was on the cover of Texas Monthly a long time ago.
Oh yeah, it's a great picture.
Yeah.
You'll know it's a long, tall drink of water with a lever action 30-30 hat.
Yeah.
He's just standing there, kind of cocked on one hip, holding a 30-30 down, and it's a stereotypical Ranger
Yeah.
shot. It really is.
Hmm.
One of the things that
And they do carry 1911s.
they carry whatever they want. Mostly it's 1911s.
Yeah.
Nobody tells a Ranger what to carry.
Yeah.
Or where to carry. That was woo.
Yeah. Yeah, that one got interesting in New York one time.
New York and and in DC.
Yeah, Jose got sent up there to pick up a prisoner, and NYPD tried to take the gun away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did not end well.
I
No.
would imagine it wouldn't.
How many did the NYPD lose?
They didn't lose anybody because
They got the smarts.
Yeah.
They took a look at him and he said, I'm not giving up my weapon.
Yeah.
And they went, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because they're not dumb.
Sir Brass, they don't do 2011s; they go 1911s.
Yeah, they get whatever, they carry whatever
Yeah.
they want. And nobody, yep.
As long as they qualify with it,
Yeah.
who cares? Yeah.
And they qualify twice a year. And the qualification is Rangers can shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they can.
No, their mission is investigation.
Yeah.
Remembering that people think that, especially if you're from Texas Monthly Magazine,
Yeah,
people think Texas only exists within 10 miles of interstate.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Texas is DFW and Houston and San Antonio and Austin.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of Texas is covered by little bitty agencies. The agency I started with had 4 officers. You had the sheriff, the chief, and 2 deputies. And that is not
untypical.
yeah, that's not atypical for Texas. The Rangers give Bug Scuffle, Texas, first-rate investigation. You can call a ranger if you can call a ranger to come help, and he'll be there.
Yeah.
So you get world-class investigative skills, paid for by the state of Texas. In Bug Scuffle, Texas, population 2,000.
Robert, that's true. Texas Rangers are what the Army Rangers dream of growing up to be.
That's kind of scary because the Texas Rangers actually, under Abbott, formed a Ranger Recon unit that performs recon up and down the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
And the Mexicans are scared crapless of them.
Yeah, because they have a Mark 11. They have a special boat unit.
Yeah,
Boat.
wasn't that after a couple of the tourists got shot on the
Yes.
lake down there?
Yeah.
Lake Falcon.
Yeah, basically they set up a maritime rangers unit, bought them the latest,
Yeah.
greatest SEAL equipment,
Yeah.
machine guns, boat, whatever, and said solve the problem. And they, to all accounts, they did just that.
Well, and we've gone over 17 minutes on the same subject.
I would just like to point out there are 2 reasons why the Mexicans do not like the Texas Rangers. And the first one is the Mexican-American War.
Yeah.
Where the Texas Rangers were an advanced scout group for the main body and were frequently had the area pacified before the Army got there.
Yeah.
And when I about to say pacified, they stayed pacified.
Yep.
And the second one is the Rangers are very, very, very aware of a minutia of law.
Yes.
So there's a famous case where there's a couple of Rangers on the border over the Rio Grande, and they see some Mexicans dragging a guy to the Mexican side, on the Mexican side, dragging him down the river, and they shoot him. So the Rangers ride along the bank, watching the body until it touches the Texas side.
Yeah.
And then they rode back and told the execution party you're under arrest, and they laughed.
Yeah.
and then got shot full of holes.
Yeah.
The body was on U.S. soil. That
Yeah,
makes
so
it
it was
Once it touched Texas soil, it became Texas matter. Speaking of sci-fi settings,
Yeah.
our first anthology of the year comes out on Friday, Amazon willing.
Yeah.
It's Pogue One. And one of the great things about Pogue One is we have 4 authors in there that have never published with us before. And I'd like to shout out Scott Fazekas, Joshua Hill, our old buddy George Hill's brother.
Yeah.
Mad Ogre. His brother sent us a story. William Miner, and I'm going to give him crap for this one. Gene Rowley from Jumpmaster Press. They all are first-time authors with us. So if you would like to prove to our first-time authors that it's a good idea to publish with Raconteur, buy the book.
Yeah.
Buy the book so we can send them money.
Yes, and Raconteur Press does pay. I just
Uh-huh.
got my quarterly statement.
Buy more than a cup of coffee, I hope.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, the Pogue One's going to be good. The stories are fantastic. They really are, and Mike's good at picking stories. So, and wait, I don't know if y'all have already seen the cover. I have, so I don't know if you all have or not. The cover's fantastic. Need to stop squirrel jokes.
Oh, nice, Tom. So yes, I actually snuck a story in that one too.
Sneaking, you wrote a good story. It got picked because it was good.
Just out of curiosity, has Raconteur Press ever had a cover that wasn't fantastic?
Okay, the first 4 Malta covers, they weren't bad. They just didn't fit the genre. So I don't consider them to be good covers. They were good covers, but not for the genre. If we'd been writing travel logs, travel guidebooks, those would have been fantastic covers.
Yeah.
But I have since learned that your cover is very genre specific. Cedar will go off on a mini rant about this. Your covers are very genre specific. Your cover has to have certain elements per genre, and we weren't doing that. So the first 4 weren't great. They weren't bad. They were just not genre specific. They were excellent They were excellent, just not for what they didn't convey what we needed.
Yeah.
The new ones do. The new Malta covers are fantastic. They're good covers. Cedar outdid herself on these.
Differ brings up a good point. Switch gears a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Why the F does this effing paperless society demand so much paperwork to process anything? I'm running into it with the VA. I think you are too.
Well, remember when the sheriff's office went paperless?
Yeah.
We doubled our output of paper.
Yeah, same thing happened in the military when we went paperless back in the 80s.
Well, for that matter, most of the businesses I've worked for, have much more paper that gets generated from a paperless bunch.
Yeah.
For one thing, everything you do electronically, that should be paperless.
Yeah.
They have to have a paper copy.
Yep.
Oh, correction. They have to have a paper copy for the archives. They have to have a paper copy to go to the customer. They have to have a paper copy for the office.
Yeah.
But the big problem there is people have gone back and edited electronic transactions.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you want to prove what was said, when it was said, etc. I mean, I had just had a situation dealing with one particular government agency where 4.5 years ago they started charging me for a service they were not providing. And I said, you need to stop charging me for that. Oh, as far as we're concerned, if it's coming off, we're providing the service. And that was as blunt as that's what they said. And it took me about 4.5 years to get to the point where I could get my private insurers and things like that to certify that, the reason I was not getting the government one was that they were advised by another government agency to stop doing it. And something got wrong somewhere else and mixed up. And And yeah, after 4.5 years, we've actually got all that money back.
Yeah.
But it took 4.5 years of keeping on about it, and if I hadn't, we would have simply lost it.
Well, and that's the other thing is everything now is defaulted to no.
Yes.
So, unless you are persistent, they're betting on people walking away.
Yeah, look at all the medical insurers. They're
Yeah.
all doing it now.
Well, something
We
else.
don't think you need that.
Ignoring the medical, I can't think of any government set of regulations that's so internally self-contradictory.
Yeah.
That no one can actually obey the law or the regulations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no
it's
kidding.
bureaucrats covering their own asses.
Yeah.
We went by the book. The fact
Yeah.
that the book is wrong is not our fault.
Rick brings up another good point too. Death certificates are weird things. Everybody wants an original certified copy
Yeah.
that you got to pay for. And a friend of mine was less than happy that he had to pay $35 a copy to get his mother's death certificates. And he had 9 places that he had to deliver copies to. 9.
Well, in Texas, the justice of peace pronounces if you have somebody die unattended or under suspicious circumstances, the JP comes out and pronounces.
Yeah.
I had a JP, and they deal with deaths a lot. A JP tell me that if you've got somebody that you're close to die, get 10 copies of the birth certificate.
Yeah.
I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Oh yeah, the 10 copies is a start. You're going to want more."
Yeah. Yeah, Greg, that brings back memories. When it became word processing, every swinging dick decided they were friggin' Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And when it came to wording and the changes, it was endless. Yes. Years ago, before all the word processing, you would write a fit rep or an eval on somebody. It would go up the chain, and that one piece of paper would be chopped by everybody up to the CO. And the CO and the XO had their own colors. So, when it got to the CO, that color, which was red, by the way, overrode everybody else. It got typed up once, and it was done. What Greg said is exactly right. As soon as they went to the word processors, it would get written up. It would get changed by the next hire, changed by the next hire, changed by the next hire, changed by the next hire. And inevitably would come back to you at some point in the chain, and it would not even be recognizable.
No. Nope.
Uh,
RK asks, if somebody dies at home, who hauls the corpse away? Small town Texas, if somebody dies at home, you call 911. Either the ambulance does it, or when the officers get there and after the JP's done, the dispatch will call the funeral home. There are no coroners. There's no county coroner in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
They're regional coroners, and they don't show up in a scene. They work out of a lab, period.
Oh, Jesse, that's an interesting thought. Several people told several people they could pay me cost plus for a certified copy or accept a fax or email. Did that actually fly? I'm just curious.
Interesting thought.
Yeah.
Interesting thought. In small town Texas, you call 911 and it gets handled.
Yeah.
Either they'll, I don't know about big cities.
Well, don't forget, in Texas, we've got this hugely strange thing of a state bureaucracy that actually bends over backwards to help you. In so many ways, Texas bureaucrats really do try to help and get it solved. And compared to every other state I've lived in, and that's been a few, those guys have just got their jobs and they don't care about you, and they're often quite rude to you. In Texas, if they're that way, they get fired.
Yeah.
So here, it's actually a pleasure dealing with the bureaucrats.
Well, and that's also part of the sunset thing in Texas.
Part of that, Texas loves its veterans. And every time we have a veteran move here, first thing I do is say, get in touch with the state veterans counselor. There's one in every county.
Every county.
And they get annoyed. I mean, and not just a little bit. If there's a veteran that they're not helping, It's like, wow.
Hey, do I? Well, I'm a foreign veteran, not American. Do you think that helps?
Go ask him. Go ask him. He
Yeah.
might. That old boy might jump over backwards.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me into the Veterans of Foreign Wars, even though I'm a veteran that was a foreign war. It was a foreign army.
That's interesting, Jesse. Everything that wasn't a government agency stopped pestering you.
Yeah.
The other thing is that for veterans, persistence works. You've heard Jonna rant before about what she had to go through with her ex-husband and the VA. Cedar and Sanford are going through a lot of stuff. I'm going through a lot of stuff. You've just got to be persistent with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Larry's got his stories too from the left coast out there.
But Cedar's telling me she should take you. You should take her along with her. She's gotten good at arguing with to the point where I'm actually happy with my medical team.
Between Cedar and Jonna, I would want to be in the VA.
Well, the one that's worse than the VA, though, always, forever, in most states, is DMV.
Let's not talk about, subhumans.
Yeah. Virginia. I was lucky because a friend of mine's wife was actually a supervisor at DMV. So,
what does DMV do?
Takes money away from you to let you drive your own car.
Yeah.
What's their actual? Because we've got the county runs the vehicle registration, and I never had a problem with that in Texas. And the DPS runs driver's licenses, so I don't know that.
Well, in most states, DMV runs all of that.
Oh, okay.
And
badly.
Yeah, badly. I have seen the wait be 3 hours at 8:30 in the morning.
That's just to renew your license plate.
Yeah, just to renew your license.
I've never had.
And if you had to do a eye test, you had to wait for the one machine in the entire DMV that worked out of the 9 that they had up there.
Oh, and if you had a beard when you got your previous license, and you shaved afterwards, then you had to prove who you had to go get the paperwork to prove who you were, because obviously you weren't you because you
had to
don't
bring a
look like,
passport or birth certificate.
which how passport I can understand, but a birth certificate, how do you tell that someone is that person from a birth certificate which has nothing but the year you were born and the name?
You see, speaking of DMVs, you see Texas has done away with the need for an annual inspection.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Which actually kind of bothers me. Granted, it was a ripoff in a lot of places, but
well, there are two reasons. There are a couple reasons why they did that, and one of the reasons I can't argue with. Texas inspections in big blue cities, vehicle inspections, were turning in. Okay, when Rita first moved here, she was shocked because she wasn't paying. She was paying $7 for an inspection, not $289.
Yeah.
Because in Dallas at the time, vehicle inspection was $289.
Yeah.
Up here it was $7.
Yep.
Yep.
State mandated $7. And what it was, the city of Dallas was mandated certain. You had to check certain things, and it piled money.
Yeah.
And it was a revenue thing, and the state of Texas got tired of Houston and Austin and Dallas screwing people over for revenue.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine out in California. He owns a bunch of antique cars. And every year he would license one car to take up to Tahoe and drive. Now, most of these cars were pre-1930. And when I was out there working for the government back in the late 90s, we did a car show and he was griping because he had taken his 1910 Overland in to get it inspected. And he had this one shop that he would always take it to. Well, the owner wasn't there that morning. And he said, this kid just could not understand when he said, turn on the headlights, and he got out with a cigarette lighter and lit the 2 lamps.
Yep.
And then he said, well, what about your turn signals? And he went,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the kid's going, what's that? That's my turn signal, son. He said, about 2/3 of the way through it, the owner walked back in and shook his head. Looked at the kid and said, go away, I'll handle this.
I just one time I rode kid flipped me off going down 287. I was parked in a grocery store parking lot. Kid flipped me off. I got in behind him and pulled him over and started writing him a ticket. And he told me I couldn't write him a ticket for that. His father was a lawyer and told me that I couldn't write him a ticket for flipping him off. I said, I'm not writing you a ticket for flipping you off.
Improper signal.
Improper use of a turn signal. He
Yeah.
said, what? And I said, your arm straight out is a left turn. Did you turn left after sticking your arm straight out? No. Improper use of a turn signal.
Yeah.
I felt so guilty about that. I went to the judge 2 days later and said, you tear up that ticket. He said, no, his daddy brought him in and made him pay it.
Good.
I don't know if you ever had them in America, but a number of British cars had flip-up turn
Yeah,
signals.
Flip up turn
Yeah,
signals on.
came
Yeah.
up with a little arm and a flashy light on the
Yeah.
end. And I remember I was driving a Morris 1000, a little bulbous thing that
Yeah.
looked a little bit like the early Volkswagen Beetle. And I came to a street corner in Cape Town, indicated to turn left and turned, and there was a cop waiting on the curb, right on the edge. And I beamed him with the turn
With the
signal.
turn signal. Yes.
And yeah, he pulled me over and basically had words with me about, don't do that again. Leave a little more margin. No, he did not give me a ticket, but yeah.
I did.
It's called a trafficator. Yes. Thanks,
was-
John.
I was so ashamed of myself writing that ticket. It was feather legged. I went to the JP and said, Your Honor, you can tear that one up. He said, I can't. His daddy brought him in and made him pay it.
You know, what John just did is what I love about this chat.
Oh, the depth of knowledge.
The depth of knowledge. Yes. Because we'll be sitting here fumbling around trying to figure out something or find something, and there's 5 people in the chat with an answer.
Mm.
I just
If you need me to signal when I'm slowing, you're too close. Yeah.
Mm.
Pulling
Favorite
this-
trick there was to yank the handbrake and slow down without any signal,
Yeah.
without any brake lights. And if they hit you, it was their fault because they hit you from
Yeah.
behind.
The depth of knowledge is only second only to the depth of the BS. Wayne, really?
Hmm.
You're as guilty of that as we are.
Eh,
I don't know. There's a lot of BS in that
Yeah.
in the chat. It's an impressive hive mind, but has odd proclivities. Boy, I don't
Yeah.
No comment.
BS can't be that deep in the chat today. I'm not in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
it always amazes me what we've managed to gather here.
Yeah.
This is one of the
Almost 600 folks.
no, I'm talking in Owl Park.
Yeah.
Oh,
Seems like almost 600 folks.
no kidding.
Yeah.
The
And more coming.
right.
Yeah.
We've got this Owl Park is turning into a
Mecca for
mecca
people.
for fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, most of the people living here are that way anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had an average Black Lives Matter or Antifa demonstration decide they were going to arrive here,
Yeah.
half the damn town would be out on their porches with their shotguns and their deer guns saying, send them down this street,
Yeah.
Sheriff, we got this.
and this they were having drone issues like were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
The fireworks would have been incredible.
Well, the opening of dove season this year, remember the fact? In Bell Road, which is near where I live,
Yeah.
50 guys in a farm field with their pickups and their shotguns, and then promptly on the stroke of sunrise, sounded like the bloody Spanish Armada was being sunk. The gunfire everywhere. We had some California import phone the cops time after time after time. They're shooting, you've got to come down here and stop this, it's murder. And eventually they told her if she called to complain again, they were going to arrest her.
Yeah.
But
Well, they were quite pointed in that they didn't have anybody send because the day shift officer was out hunting dove.
There's a mailman.
Mailman.
Hello.
I've never been to Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
If anything happens, never been there.
That's our mailman. Tiny Town, Texas. That's our mailman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be delivering ammo to take care of the rest of it.
We actually, several months back, we had a issue at the school. Somebody got stupid and threatened at the school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was stupid. Of him.
Yeah, Jonna was giggling. Yep.
Yeah.
Because the two local FBI guys were over there, and the entire parking lot was full of pickups and
Hmm.
rifles. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you know,
I
parents
like this.
saying we got this. You don't need the FBI.
Hell, we didn't know we had local FBI agents.
Send it to the house, RK. Thank you. How much do I owe you?
What?
RK, Robert says, in small town areas, everyone knows at least one person with a backhoe.
Yeah,
Yeah, out here we know people with bulldozers and
Yeah.
helicopters.
Yeah,
it's one of the fun things. You see a report of a bushfire here along the main roads. The report will add there were 3 privately owned bulldozers standing
Yeah.
out. A lot of the ranchers just pick them up and keep them for fire breaks.
I don't know if Sanford's there, but Peter and Jim and I were going to Carlito's local Mexican restaurant, and we were sitting there, and one of our good friends is the.
Sushi says it's for Rita.
Did you send it from New York? Well, I'll save it for Rita. It came from New York.
Well, it's got Ian's name on it.
It's got my name on it. It came from New York, Rochester, New York.
I better open it. That could be
Says Ian.
explosive.
Right there.
So anyway, we were listening. A friend of ours was a cop, and he's sitting there, and his handy talkie's going off, and the
Yeah.
the dispatcher said it's like 6 volunteer fire departments and 3 local bulldozers have responded to the fire.
I don't know if it's because they're responsible farmers who want to cut fire breaks, or just overgrown little boys who think, wee!
Well,
Yes.
considering that we'll
Yes.
probably see them Friday morning if we get any snow
Yep.
with their tractors, with the blades.
Yeah, number of
What I do you understand the concept of both?
Yeah.
well, the number of locally owned bulldozers is fantastic, or bobcats, the little bitty bulldozers.
Yeah.
Bob-
Skid steer one.
Yeah. The bobcats are very, very popular around here.
And you can see them at 8 o'clock at night pulling into the local 7-Eleven to gas up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eric says, when a country E4 marries a city girl and puts a gun rack in her Prius, fun things happen. Oh, God.
Is there? Do they make it? Get a gun rack for a price? Prius? Pius?
It'd have to take some modifications to do that.
Yeah. Well, of course, there was that wonderful case of, I think it was a Texan guy who got a Prius and put a V8 in it.
Yeah.
And took out the battery and the engine and put a full-size V8. Used to smoke everybody.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
RK says New Year's went well here. Only 2 houses burned to the ground. 3 wildfires swiftly brought under control by brush truck and various bobcats. Yes.
Then they make what they call garden. It's garden tractors.
Yeah.
It's actually a lawnmower, riding lawnmower, a little bigger than normal, with a whole bunch of stuff you can hook on there.
Yeah.
And you'll see guys around here with a 1/4 acre, 1/2 acre lot their house is sitting on with a garden tractor,
With a backhoe.
Yeah.
With a
front end loader
front end
attachment.
loader.
You got all these attachments, front end loader, backhoe, all this. It's like,
Well,
really?
what was it, last year or the year before? The county brought the road grader out to scrape the street.
Chewed up the street.
No, guy actually did a
Did
real
he
good
good?
job. Yeah. But it's, it's not the thing you expect to see out your window at 7:30 in the morning while you're drinking your first cup of coffee. It's like,
The last big snow thing was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
There was a guy with a Kawasaki 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
The one with a cab, and he'd sit side by side and a dump thing
Yeah.
behind. And he had a blade on the front.
Yeah,
He was puttering up and down, going pat, 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 and just clearing the street. And if you asked nicely, he'd nip down and do your driveway too.
Yeah.
Just having a whale of a time.
RK says Mikado keeps wanting to add more stuff to his John Deere garden tractor.
Well, I would not be surprised finding some of the golf carts around here with blades on them.
Well, that's one of the things that the ladies find absolutely squee-inducing, is the amount of electric golf carts.
Yeah.
That go around town, and it didn't used to be legal. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, Abbott during the whole COVID unpleasantness, he relaxed the restrictions on golf carts in small
Yeah.
towns. As a temporary measure, and 5 years later, that temporary measure is still in
There's
effect.
nothing so permanent as a temporary fix.
Yeah. And now they have their own licenses.
Yep. But
We now have golf carts, ATVs, UTVs, all running up and down the street.
Yep. and we don't care.
Well, I don't know. The thing that scares the heck about me is kids on bicycles.
Yeah.
There's a number of times I've damn nearly gone around a corner and found one of them coming right from my front bumper.
Yeah.
Because the parents won't control them. And I accept kids are going to be in streets. They're going to want to play, but for heaven's sake, have someone out there looking at them. Because if you knock one down and you kill them, you're going to get blamed no matter what happens.
Oh, they need to teach the kids. Because I remember my mother and father taught me how to ride a bicycle on the street.
Yeah.
They let me do it.
Yeah, same with mine.
And that's what I remember, more or less. I mean, we weren't allowed off the farm until we'd had bicycles for several years.
Yeah.
Well, we were same thing. We were taught how to ride on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
well, heck, once we had learned to ride properly and we had satisfied our folks, we used to ride to school.
Yeah.
Bikes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 4 or 5 miles each way.
but the other thing too, remember, Peter, is a lot of the cars back then didn't have air conditioning. So people rode with their windows down and they could hear you.
A lot of them didn't have brakes either.
Yeah.
Oh, you've had some of my cars.
So the golf carts and UTVs, that sort of thing, are restricted to in-town use only.
Yeah.
You can't use them on a farm to market road or on the highway.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's in-town use only. Now,
we'll
it's-
see.
It says nothing about the median, the UTVs on the median.
Yeah.
But as far as on the paved road, it's in Texas, it's in-town use only, and it's.
Have they tried them on the railway tracks yet?
I'm sure somebody has.
Yeah.
And in the big cities, they don't do it. But in small town Texas, which is most of Texas, they don't care.
Yes, sir, Brass. The silent running UTVs
I hate those
and
things.
EVs. Yeah. Japan is actually talking about making the EVs have a noisemaker on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Texas or US is too.
There's some city that has passed an ordinance that they have to have a noisemaker on it. So somebody put a noisemaker that sounded like a 747 taking off.
Yeah.
The when work daughter got her Tesla, that was the thing Jim and I both noticed was the fact that you couldn't hear the thing. It's and when you don't
Other
realize
than when she did a burnout.
you don't realize how much noise a car makes
Yeah.
until you got one coming up on you. It doesn't make any noise.
A buddy of mine with a Tesla fixed that. He got truck horns.
Yeah.
Put them under the hood. When he goes and sounds those, you people levitate.
I was going to put new horns on my SUV, and I can't
Mm-hmm.
because it's tied into the friggin' computer.
Of course.
Clearly, it was not designed with rednecks in mind.
Well, there's
I have this nice set of train horns, a 3 trumpet version.
Mm.
What?
I want a set that plays music.
You could do that too.
Yeah, I want to be able to select tune.
Oh, they make those.
Now, Jim wants him to think that the Burlington, Northern, and Santa Fe are on their tail.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind a foghorn.
Yeah, there you go.
well, actually, I was suggesting for work daughter's car to put cards in the spokes or wheels.
Yeah.
And didn't know.
Well, if she did a burnout, she'd probably spit them all off.
Yeah. And you get spinning
No,
cards
then-
decapitate
then-
someone.
Then you get discards.
Oh.
I'll have to think about that one, AJ. Yes, Greg, the train horn does get people's attention, especially when you get a tractor trailer that blows his horn at you and then you blow your horn back at them.
Oh, speaking of horns, you hear about that jackass at Home Depot the other day?
Mhm.
He was one of these internet what the hell do you call it?
Influencers.
Influencers was at Home Depot and blew an air horn in somebody's ear.
Oh, did he get
Oh.
shot?
No, he got suplexed.
This works.
And last I heard, he was still in ICU.
That'll teach you.
And PD went,
Yeah, that's an oral assault as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. It's
Yeah,
just-
especially if it damaged the ear.
well, an air horn will.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
canned
yeah.
air horns are
Of course, the true story. This I've told you before. Ian. This is after Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana, and a little old lady came up from New Orleans and was staying with her married daughter and their kids. And a sweet old lady, really sweet, and one of the nature's nicest, politest, kindest old ladies you could imagine. And mom and dad had to go out to work each day, and the kids would go off to school and do their thing. But anyway, grandmama was in the house one day when one of the refugees from New Orleans decided it was time to break in and rob the place blind. And he was rattling at the door and banging and demanding that she open it, and she wasn't. So he went round to just the one side of the door and broke a window and shoved his head through the gap to see if he could figure out how to get the door open. She, meanwhile, had armed herself with a full-size, compressed air horn and was sitting by the window waiting. So as his left ear came through the window, it got an air horn in the ear and the whole lot. Basically, the cops came around and said, "Okay, what's your name?" "What?" "We're taking you to jail." "What?"
What out an eardrum?
Yeah, basically, yes, he lost the eardrum.
Yeah.
Apparently they do grow back, but he wasn't hearing much for a
they
while.
don't grow back well.
No.
I've lost my eardrums a couple of times. They don't grow back well.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
How many people sitting around this table go, huh?
Huh?
Too much?
Well, in our case, it's gunfire, aviation,
Yeah.
noise,
Turret whine,
yeah, a few other things like
Yeah.
that.
gunfire. Way too much gunfire.
It is astonishing to me how my ears differ.
Yeah.
My right ear is much deafer than my left because that's the side the gunfire was on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it does build up.
The absolute worst hearing loss I ever took was I was checking a chicken coop for
An armed chicken coop.
prowler. Little old lady called about a prowler
Uh-huh.
and read about the chicken coop. So I was going to a chicken coop and I stepped in a pile of leaves, a rattlesnake inside,
Yeah, that'll
and I
levitate
quick drew a 9mm and blew them in half. And my ears rang for weeks after that.
you.
I wasn't even thinking about it. Just blam,
Yeah.
mop,
Yeah.
mop.
Try shooting a gun inside a vehicle.
Mhm.
You talk about getting your attention.
Or in a
Yep.
basement.
Anything can find.
Of course, you were talking about the guy suplexed because he was stupid enough to stick an air horn. A couple of years ago, it was a big thing. You were seeing it. You saw it all the time. These videos of people doing pranks.
Yeah.
And the pranks were things like somebody in a clown suit takes a sledgehammer and smashes what looks like a body on the ground
Uh-huh.
and chases
And then get center punch.
Mhm.
Well, I always try to figure out, okay, assuming somebody's in a clown suit and they've got just taken a sledgehammer to what looks to be a body.
Yeah.
And I put, Mozambique drill,
Yep.
and he drops, of course, because he's not expecting this, because this is a prank. Do you get charged with murder for that? Or
I would
The
not
the
think so.
grand jury in Texas hears this, says he needed killing,
Yeah.
and orders pizza.
Yeah.
Well, there was that case down, Greg, it was somewhere down near you in Florida, I think, where some guy tried to prank somebody in a food court,
Mhm.
and the guy shot him.
Remember that one?
Because the guy kept pushing, and the guy just, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he killed him or not.
The cops weren't particularly worried about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the North Carolina. That
Yeah.
might have happened in North Carolina too.
Yeah.
No, the
North Carolina, okay.
and I wish the whole internet influencer practical joke thing would stop.
Yeah.
I really do.
Because
Because
most of them aren't practical.
no, and they're gonna get people hurt. They're really gonna get people, especially in Texas. You're gonna. I mean, if I come around the corner and somebody in a clown suit with a knife coming after me,
He's ahead.
I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah.
I don't have to be coming around the corner. I see somebody in a clown suit with a knife,
Mhm.
and he looks my way. You know,
No, apparently the prankster said he did not regret it and won't stop doing pranks.
He'll stop when he gets buried. When he starts eating his salads from the roots up.
I still enjoy Alma. Was Alma Boykin, my wife Dorothy? I think one other lady.
Yeah, he did shoot Santa.
Yeah, yeah. They were sitting with us at a table in Liberty Con
Yeah.
1 year up in Tennessee, and someone said something about, well, what if someone comes in with a gun right now? To which Dorothy's response was that the three of us are going to hit the ground and get out of the way of the outgoing fire. All of the rest of us at the table were armed,
Yeah.
and they reckoned it would be a little bit tricky in that neighborhood.
I had gotten smart. The first year that I at Liberty Con that I wound up on a panel, a no shit panel, I'd gotten smart, and I left my gun in the because I was going to have a drink. I left my gun in the room, and afterwards, after I got done, I was shaking. Kirk and Becca bought me. I was sitting in the bar upstairs at Liberty Con Hotel. Kirk, the conovers, had bought me a drink, and some jackass happily popped a balloon.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
yeah, I came up going for a gun, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
you're okay. And the bartender was like, tell him to get out. The balloon popper, tell him to get out. This,
Yeah.
this is the wrong convention to be doing that.
I still remember the three of us were sitting in the foyer at Liberty Con, looking at how many people were carrying as they went past.
Yeah,
And our comments were sort of like, he's carrying, he's paranoid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
He's got
was
the
paranoid.
three,
2 guns, magazines, knives.
Yeah,
Yep.
knives, guns.
Well, the other good one was out at LTUE. Peter and I and Larry were going to eat lunch. And Peter and I both automatically went to the back.
Yes. The backs to the wall.
Backs
Facing
to the wall.
Yeah.
I'm on the right end, he's on the left end. And Larry looked at us, went, I'm just going to sit over here.
Rita and John will do the same thing. We'll go out somewhere. They'll walk up to the table. And either they'll grin and grab the seat facing the door, or they'll stand and go ahead, sit facing the door.
Yeah.
I go out to lunch with these people, and I just say I'm going to let them sit facing the door because they got better reaction times than I do.
Yeah, Jesse, that I saw that one, and if I remember right, that guy did not come out of that. That prankster did not come out of that one alive.
Which one?
The one where he fake dumping gas on the hood of a pickup.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I remember reading about
Yeah.
that one. Oh, the best is still that utter asshole up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Walks into a gun shop where there are 2 cop cars parked
Yeah.
outside. There are half a dozen customers in there, some open carrying. The clerks are carrying openly on their hips. Cops are sitting one side. Walks in, says, "This is a stick up," and fires around from a shotgun in the air. The coroner could not count the number of entry versus exit wounds.
Yeah.
It was just colander.
Yeah.
He won a Darwin Award that year.
We
right?
had
Play
something
stupid
similar
games,
happen.
win stupid prizes.
at
Well-
Pat Swindell's place up in Northern Virginia, because we were coming in to shoot a IDPA match. So we're all carrying.
Mhm.
And this guy comes in, and I won't discuss what ethnicity he was. And he asked to see a particular pistol. So the guy working the counter hands it to him. And he reaches in his pocket and takes out a round.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
God.
Yeah. Everyone jumped on him.
And all I hear is crossfire, crossfire, check your crossfire. And I look around, and every one of us has got a pistol out.
Mhm.
And this guy's looking around like, huh? What?
What did I do wrong?
I just wanted
You
to
were
make sure it
born.
would fit.
And he looks back at the guy across the counter from him who's standing there like this. And the
were
gun's about
born.
that far from his head.
There was a
That's
guy.
morons.
He goes, I just wanted to see if it was the right caliber.
There was a
Yeah.
guy back in Kentucky, and don't know what possessed him, but he walked into one of the rougher neighborhoods and pulled out a pistol and threatened one of the ladies.
Oh, Jesus.
The coroner's report said the worst case of suicide I've ever seen.
Yeah. But when you think about it, how many times have we seen in gun shows someone picks up a gun to look at it and it goes bang because some other idiot deliberately slipped around into it, thought it would be funny.
Yeah,
So,
Jerry, it's I think pretty much most people that have worked in a gun store for any length of time have
stories.
Stories.
Well, that happened in King County back in '88, Station Fort Lewis at the time. Yeah.
I think
Almost as bad as Arkansas. Yeah.
Well, we've had interesting session today.
Yes, we have, and we wasted another hour of your time. Thanks much, folks. We really do appreciate it. Like I said, we're up to almost 600 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't somebody try to rob a couple? Some kids.
Yeah.
From the Metroplex. Did a Google search, came up with gun stores in Wichita, and decided to come up here and try to rip them off.
It did not work well.
That was a poor life choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, stay warm.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
y'all up north, take your snow back.
Yeah. We don't want it. It's in our front yard and it's going to be drunk.
Are you going to be able to get down here on Thursday to do the talk?
Well,
We're
Thursday,
about to find out.
we will play by ear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bust out the electric socks.
Take all you want, we'll make more.
No, Tom.
That Tom, there's a picture of Tom on Facebook brushing the snow off his deck in his bare feet.
He's Norwegian.
Yeah, I know, but still, there's a limit, Tom. There's a limit.
Yeah. Anyway, remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Y'all be safe.
Be safe, and we'll see you maybe Thursday.
Pogue one.
Yes. By the book.
Yes, by the book.